Hey folks, TNT Neon here. This is going to be a review, 8-month review on my 2018 Giant stance. Things I've done to it, things I haven't done to it, things I like about it, things I don't like about it. So let's get started. All right, first of all, I have no issues out of this bike. This bike is built very well. So there ain't gonna be nothing I don't like about it, except for one thing, and I'll get to that later. But I haven't had any issues out of the flex point. I haven't had any issues out of the triangle of this bike. When Giant builds a bike, they build a bike. They builds a bike well. I haven't had any issues out of the float DPS, Fox rear shock. I haven't had any issues out of the front fork, which is 130 mil travel, Fox Rhythm 32. I haven't had any issues out of the fork whatsoever. I haven't had any issues, period, point blank, out of the bike. The dropper post still works fine. Haven't had any issues out of that. No issues whatsoever out of this dropper post. The seat is still in good condition for 8 months of riding, which I didn't really, well, less than a little 8 months of riding. Had it for 8 months. Right there, during the winter time, I didn't ride this bike as much as I did the Marlin because this past winter has been tremendously rough. I mean, we had wet weather, snow, we had cold days, which I don't mind riding in the cold. I got videos on me riding in the snow. It's just where we just had 3 days of rain, then it would be clear for 2 days, and then we have about 4 more days of rain. It just been raining. All right, well, let's get back to it. I haven't had any issues out of the wheels. These wheels, the rear wheel only been trued one time, and that's for me riding it for the first time, putting 50 to 100 miles on it, and I had to get it trued one time. These wheels that Giant makes, they wheels are strong. The hub is still working good. The rear hub and the front hubs, they still working fine. The wheels are strong for this 27.5. The wheels are strong. I'm 243, 244, and I haven't had an issue out of these wheels like I had out of the Bontrager wheels that from Trek. I end up having to replace rear wheels. I ended up having to replace spokes on them because they will snap and break. So, blah, 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 blah on that right there. But this bike has been tremendously well to me. All right, the thing that I didn't like about this bike is the brakes that came with it, which I changed out these brakes to SLX brakes. So they match the SLX shifter, but not ready to do that just because they were better brakes. I changed, the front came with 180 up front, and the rear came with 160 in the rear. I'm gonna let this truck go by. Came with 160 in the rear, but I changed out to different rotors on both of them. So I changed out to the Shimano rotors. I forget the name of them, but I changed out to these rotors and it's 180 in the rear, and I kept the 180 up front. To use the 180 in the rear, I had to use an adapter, which is the same adapter that they use for the front to make the 180 fit in the rear. So you couldn't use a rear 180 adapter. You had to use a front M180 adapter for on this bike, particularly this bike. All right, that's the only thing I hated about the bike. I changed out the M180s, I think they was, for this bike. So I changed them out, and just for my comfort, I like these brakes better. They feel better. They stop my weight faster and everything. The Arden tires are a perfect selection for this bike. As you see, I'm really working on the rear tire, but the rear tire is doing good. The front tire is barely worn, which that's obvious. Just like a rear-wheel drive car, you're going to wear the rear out first before you wear the front out first. The Shimano SLX rear derailleur is working out great. I don't have no issue without that. With that, the shifter is actually working great. Also, no issues with that. All right, I did change one else thing on it. I changed the circle crank out. I changed the circle crank out from a circle to a one-up. Let me put this down. To a one-up oval crank and everything. The reason I changed that crank out from the circle to the one-up oval crank is because of it helped me climb hills. And when I tell you, when I climb hills, it climbs hills great, and I love it. It has, they say when you do put the same amount of teeth that came with the crank, that came with the bike on it. So this is a 30 tooth crank, but whenever you paddle, the top side of it, if I'm not mistaken, acts as a 28 tooth, and when it gets to its long stroke, acts as a 30. So that's where it helps you climb the hill. It sort of gives you like a power stroke, and I really love it. If anybody wants to know about a oval chain ring, there's no myth about it. It actually does what it says it does. It helps you out tremendously, and dude, and I'm I'm really loving it. I'm really loving it. All right, my cassette showing no wear on it, because I was going to change the cassette out and put a 50 tooth cassette on it, but something said try the one-up oval first. There's no guarantee that I might not change it out, because when it's time to change it out, if I'm gonna change it out, I might well change it out to a 50 tooth, instead of putting a 46 tooth back on it. And plus, Sun Race cassettes is cheap, they durable, and they work. Giant really put this bike together, and they did a good job on it, a great job on it. Not a good job, but a great job on it. I did cut down my handlebars from 780 to 760, because it was like 760, I think, because I was having some of the areas I go to have tight areas where the handlebars barely just go in, and I got tired of scraping my hand. So I got them coming in, turning in, and I can still turn like I need to turn, and it feels better to me. So yeah, I cut them down to 760, which still works great. The Giant Connect stem is working fine, no issues out of it. What else? Everything, I can't say too much about it. Everything still works great on this bike. It works tremendous. It works flawless. The shifting is crisp, still crisp, no issues. Of course, I keep my oil change, I keep my maintenance up on it. I do my maintenance myself. If I can't do it, I will take it to Giant University City, and everything. This is where I got this bike from. But other than that, I can't complain about it. I like everything about it. I had one dislike about it, and that was the brakes that came with it. But you know, it's a $2,100 bike, so it ain't gonna come with all the bells and whistles on it. But like I said, the bike is nice. Really like this bike. Oh, I changed the grips on it too. Put the ODI grips on it. They feel better to me. Um, Other than that, I can't complain about this. What came with the bike is tremendously bike. We're working out well. Um, if you want to get a giant bike, all you got to do, if you're in Charlotte, North Carolina, all you got to do is go to Giant University City, formerly known as Bike Line of University, over by the university, of course, off of University Boulevard. You go over there and speak with Mark, Jonathan, Craig, Shane, and they got a new guy there. I can't remember. They got Eric, and they got a new guy, Tom. New guy named Tom there. I mean, speak with any one of them guys, and they'll hook you up with a giant. They got some new giants in there. They got the Anthem. They got the Trance. They got this new hardtail, carbon fiber hardtail, and two flavors. You got the expensive flavor, then you got the not so expensive flavor. One is like 4,000, one is 3,000, but it's a carbon fiber hardtail. You can get the Rain. You can get any giant you want there for the low, and they good deals, and these bikes are sturdy and greatly built. I can't complain about it. The wheels are built well. They built by Giant. The frame is built by Giant. Giant pretty much do their own stuff. And when they put the bike together, they put a bike together, and I can't complain about it. It works real well, real well. But, you know, like I said, go down there, talk to my boys, and they'll hook you up on a bike and everything. And one more thing, I'm going to give a shout out to Oneup Oval. Love it. And I do have the spacers set up in here for the Oneup. But I mean, the chain, everything on this bike is tremendously working well. All right, folks, that's my review. That's my 8-month review. And as I always say, you know what I'm saying? Keep the tires on the dirt, never on the pavement. Don't wear them out. They're for dirt. Ride them long, ride them strong. God is, as I always say, God is good all the time. TNT out.